Guys, we've all been through a lot over the last few years with Ye, but here we are, start of April. Bully has dropped. It came out last week. I think it's just over a week ago it came out. And Bully, guys, is actually good.
It's actually not too bad.
Alright guys, so this is going to be our first initial thoughts. We will have a full album review coming out soon.
At some point.
But it's early on, and before we get a real, fully fleshed opinion, let's go into some initial thoughts.
Yeah, let's just talk about it. So, I mean, where do you want to start?
Firstly, for me, is how much of a statement and of a comeback this is. Let's be honest, right? Look at his recent singles that he's released last year.
Yeah.
Genuinely some of the worst music I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Which from the greatest artist of all time, bro.
It's sad to see, right?
It's disappointing, you know. There was conversations after Vultures came out about him potentially staying in his discography because you end it with Donda and look at what he achieved from College Dropout to Donda. You've got the best discography of all time, very possibly.
Arguably,
I think he's always gonna be in that conversation. But the two Vultures albums left a bit of a weird stain, and then obviously he teased Cock, and then there was all these singles coming out that were all kind of crazy. Obviously some of his activity, which we won't go into now, on Twitter's calmed down a lot.
Yep.
And then we get an album like this where there's no AI vocals on it. There's actual work going in. Well, yeah.
I've seen there's been a lot of people online who sort of complained about the fact that they don't know whether there is AI on the song or not. And I think if you're getting it from his team saying like there's no AI vocals, there's no AI work on here, just take it for what it is. Enjoy the music. Don't use it as a way to sort of like to dent the album. Just enjoy the music. And I think that's an issue which I've seen a lot of people have, is that they're just unable to enjoy the music because they can't look past obviously Kanye. And obviously person he's become and the way he's portrayed himself over the past couple of years has been terrible.
For sure, it's not been good at all.
But
let's be honest.
I'll tell you what, for a man who kind of flew off the hinges, this is a pretty good album.
This is the only album that's felt like a Kanye album in a long time since Donda.
100%.
Right? You know, there's some good songs on the Vultures albums, but they're collab albums with Ty Dolla $ign, and so I mean, Vultures 2 had like Bomb and Fried and Hood Rat, bro, Husband. I mean, there's some stinkers on there,
100%.
and you come into this album with King to start you off.
True,
bro. This album feels like a comeback. This album feels like a statement.
That's good.
My goat was never washed. That's what this feels like.
I mean, that's a very positive way to look at this. One thing that I noticed about this album is that obviously with everything that's been going on, it's probably a lot, and you can tell that there's been a lot going on in his mind and with him mentally. And I think one of the things I noticed is that just through a combination of like the instrument selection, through the topics he talks about, the vocals and voices that he uses throughout this album, it creates a really like hollow atmosphere, almost as if he's like been through so much and there's been so much like frazzling around his brain.
It does feel like 808's V2 a little bit.
A little bit, and now he's sort of coming out of it and calming down. This is him just sort of putting every like last dying breath he had into it.
It's like an acknowledgement of like we're moving on.
There's some very emotional like very I don't know, almost eerie kind of like tracks and takes.
I fully agree. It has a really strange atmosphere, and I think, you know, ultimately when we look at Kanye West, you know, look at the stars of his discography. You know, your Graduations, MBDTF, your College Dropout, etc. Right? There's bangers on there, and there's a lot of arrogance from him, of course. But College Dropout has its family business, right?
Yep.
You know, Late Reg has Hey Mama. You have Runaway on MBDTF. Graduation has Everything I Am, The Glory. They have the soft moments, and they have the self-reflection, and this is where you see the guys go, which you haven't had in recent years.
100%.
And then we have tracks like Mama's Favorite on here, bro.
Exactly what I was going to talk
Gorgeous.
about. Yeah.
Absolute perfection.
That as
honestly.
well as, I think, Beauty and the Beast as well is another one. And damn, even though it's maybe not as much of an enjoyable song to the public, I personally like it, but I feel like there's a lot of emotion in there. It seems, I don't know if it's bland, but
I think it feels a bit, the rhythm of it feels a bit not repetitive as in it happens a lot in the song, but it doesn't feel, I don't know. It was like the kind of thing I get from the script.
I know Damn's not a favorite for people so far, but and also another thing I really like about this album is how melodic it is. Like there's a lot of really good singing on here, a lot of really good melodic instrumentals and vocals as well.
The instrumentals especially, you know, you've got Punch Drunk, whatever works. Even like Preacher Man and even Beauty and the Beast by a little bit, you know, you got the more melodic instrumental for sure.
So those are kind of some honorable mentions. Why don't we get into some of the bottom three? What's like bottom three for you?
Third from bottom, bro, I got Circles with Don Toliver.
Fairs?
I
Okay.
think it's been one of the most hated on songs so far on the album. I know he pulled Don Toliver's vocals off as well.
Yeah. He's and let me just be very clear. I don't think Don Toliver's vocals were the issue on that
No,
song.
I don't
think the
think
instrumental first and foremost was just bad.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. It was quite quirky, but I think it's just structurally kind of wrong. It's kind of just fundamentally screwed, that song, to be honest. I don't think it's too awful, but it's not. It doesn't really do it for me. It's good. There's got to be 3 songs in the bottom 3, so.
Funnily enough, I've also put Circles in
You got Circles there?
number 3 for you. So yeah, not much to say there. But why don't you give me your second from bottom?
I got Last Breath.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, Last Breath, to be fair, is like, it's actually not a bad song. Like, when I'm listening to it, it sounds good. The instrumental's nice. I just don't think it hits quite the right way. You know what I mean?
I don't actually think it's that bad when I'm listening to it, but I don't gel with it that much.
I think-
I don't mind the Spanish vocals on it. I get that's quite a lot of the song, but I think it doesn't. It really feels out of place on a Kanye West album.
It does. I mean, it sounds like it sounds so racist, but like just like the foreign like languages just never, because you can't understand it. I can't ever really like appreciate it as much as if he was just speaking English. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It just means that like I don't appreciate it as much. But yeah. Funnily enough, I've also put Last Breath in second from bottom as well. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But this falls into like a little bit of a category for me in my bottom 3, where I basically just put the end of the album down there. I put this one here as my least favorite on there as well, because I just feel like the end of the album falls off. This one here, I just don't like it.
I haven't put this one here
so
last.
low effort.
I put Damn as my last one. I think the last few songs in this album are really questionable.
Yeah.
I think the later half of the album as a whole, to be honest, isn't quite as strong as the first half, but especially towards the end. Yeah, and I think Damn just feels really. The rhythm of it is kind of generic. It kind of feels like, I don't know.
I think that's a bit harsh for Damn. I think the
you
vocals
turn the
on there are
radio,
really
you turn the
nice.
radio on, and that's the like. I could imagine a song like Damn on.
That's bottom 3, so we got all the bad stuff out of the way. Now we get to the good stuff.
Now we get to the energy.
Yes.
So number 3, Sisters and Brothers.
Bears.
Devious rapping performance, great eerie instrumental.
Yeah.
Only gripe is the vocals at the end go on a little bit too long.
Yeah, that's another one of those songs which like falls into that like eerie category that I was talking about
for
earlier,
sure.
and it's like the topics and also just again his vocals, it just sounds like he's in this really dark mindset, and yeah, I really like that. It's cool.
Sure.
Number 3 for me, I've gone with Preacher Man.
Okay.
One of the lead singles that he put out, and I think he's a talented man. He knows what's good and what's going to be like the bigger songs out here. And I think he did his thing here when he released Preacher Man, as well as Beauty and the Beast, which is my second favorite on here.
Okay.
I think both these songs are really good. Preacher Man, I love the dynamics of the song, structured really well. It doesn't really get boring for me. And Beauty and the Beast, love the vocals. I'm no shame to admit that I think I actually prefer the AI version.
AI vocals is crazy.
It's a bit of a controversial topic, but certainly in this instance, I think I prefer the sound of it. Although I will say the official release where he actually put his actual vocals on there sounds much more like Kanye, so I prefer that.
Fair enough.
What's your second favorite, bro?
Second from top, I've got Whatever Works. I think it's his best rapping on the album for sure. I think the sample's so great. It's brilliant.
Yep.
I think you got some great bits on here. He's talking about how much he cares about his daughters and his family. It feels like the whole thing with this album. It feels like he's back. It feels like he's kind of on the way back to normal. There's so much less weird shit on this album, and I think this is a great embodiment of that.
Yeah, it's a great instrumental and great rapping. It's overall a good song. That was very, very shortly number 4 for me. I nearly put that in my top 3, but yeah. So number 1 for me, I'm going Punch Drunk.
This is such a Cameron number 1.
It is. I feel like I instantaneously gravitated towards this. As soon as I heard it, it was just like, this is great. This is so positive. It's so vibrant. I love the vocals on here. It is
great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I wouldn't
great
put it
song.
that high, but it's a fun song. It's quite good. I think it's well placed as well.
This is one of those songs which I feel like comes from like somewhere between I'd say maybe even College Dropout to 808s and Heartbreaks in that early Kanye era. Like this is one of the songs that feels like for me.
I agree. And to be honest, if you're gonna bring up 808s, that noise for me, my number 1's All the Love. I mean, it's best song he's come out with in the last half a decade for sure. I think there's the vocals on here about he's leaving all the pain behind. It's like he's just giving up this crusade of shit he's been on for the last few years and finally moving on into something better. And look at the song we've had. This thing wouldn't look out of place. This is Heartless V2 in my eyes, man. You've got incredible hook on it. Obviously, it's not quite as good as Heartless, for sure, but
maybe not yet.
His vocals incredible. Andre Troutman's a great addition.
Andre Troutman had a great performance on this album.
He's done himself proud, to be fair. I just think it's incredible. I think it's genuinely an unbelievable track.
All the Love is a Kanye fan's pick for this album.
I don't think we're going to be sat here in a month or two or even a few years and be saying it's a top 20 Kanye song. All right, then, bro. Your overall thoughts on Bully?
Bully. I mean, it's great to see one of the greatest artists.
It's great to see the King
to be back in action and with some actually really good material. I love the emotions and the mindsets this album brings to you. I love the vocals. I love how melodic it is. There's lots of really good things about this album. There are a couple dozen here, a couple skips, which I would just say for sure. I can leave those behind. I don't really care. But there's some really good material on here, and I just hope Kanye keeps going forward with this path. And so I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Just nice.
I mean, for my initial thoughts, I'll give it 7.5 as well. But it feels like there's a few duds on here. I'm not gonna sit here and try and call it a 10. But this is the right direction. This is a very positive move forward for Kanye. I think we have some exciting things to expect from him over the next few years. Hopefully. It looks a lot better already. 2026 has been a better year for him than all of last year was. 100%. So this is a great move in the right direction. Alright guys, that was our first thoughts on Bully. The album's only been out for about a week, so we'll be back shortly with a full in-depth review with a bit more of a refined opinion. But we want to know what you guys want to see from us. In the description, you'll find our Discord server link. Hop in there, go into content requests, and get your ideas in. We want them. You'll find our Instagram down there, our TikTok. You'll find everything down there.
We appreciate you guys for watching, and let us know in the comments what you guys think of Bully. Do you think the GOAT is back? And as always, make sure you subscribe. Show some love in the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.